All right, let's meet the Doofus who started the seventh largest wildfire in California currently. So this is Ronnie Dean Stout II, 42-year-old former convict who was arrested for starting this fire. So for those of you who don't know, I actually just saw this on the news the other day. Didn't think it would escalate to quite this level, but this guy right here apparently pushed a car down a ravine, drunk or something, and started this fire single-handedly through a burning car that he pushed down this ravine that is now spread to like 300,000 plus acres, which is just fucking absolutely insane. I love California. Let me rephrase. I love San Diego. I used to live there 10 years ago. Beautiful place. So by proxy, I have kind of like a fondness for California, and I hate to see the state burning literally and figuratively. So the thing that sucks too, you'll see this in a lot of cases. If we look at this guy's priors, because of course, authorities noted that Stout, who has a criminal record including convictions for lewd acts with a child and robbery with great bodily injury, blended in with fleeing parkgoers to escape the scene. He's not facing arson charges and has two prior strike felony convictions. So in California, if you have, it's basically a three strikes and you're out law. So thankfully, there's no way this person is not going to get charged. But when he does, he should be there for life. I think life by definition in California is 25 years to life, meaning a minimum of 25 years, and then you're potentially out for parole. I don't know if that applies with the three strike. Like meaning if you get sentenced to life as your first one, like first strike or second strike, if you're sentenced to life, do you get that probation, potential probation after 25 years? Or does it not apply in this case if you're under the third strike when this happens? So that I don't know. But I mean, holy shit. So this person, I believe I read, served, 20-year prison sentence for robbery. I believe in the late 90s, early 2000s. I had it pulled up here somewhere. That was his first thing. And then, he got a DUI here in 2020. So, and then obviously stuff with children, which is just unforgivable. So I'm looking at the right word to use here. But yeah, I mean, holy shit. So how is this person not more watched, or I guess how do you even account for something like this happening? The bigger question is going to be them investigating what led him to, like, was he trying to hide evidence, or what the fuck happened in this case? Like, why is he pushing a burning car down? So all I'll say is, from reading more about it, there was these women at the park, because I think there was some kind of event going on, or people were just hiking. But this guy, these women encountered this guy. They didn't know who he was at first. They just mentioned that he looked drunk. They were at a swimming hole in Bidwell Park when a man in his 40s approached them. He was also just slurring his words a lot, one of them noted, adding that he made strange comments and appeared intoxicated. After a bystander intervened, thank God, because who fucking knows, the man left them alone. The women later saw the fire and initially didn't connect it to the encounter. However, upon recognizing Stout in a social media photo, they contacted the police with the observations. They described the experience as terrifying. So, I mean, like, who knows what this person was capable. Honestly, if I had to guess, if that bystander wasn't there, he probably would have, I mean, I'm not going to use the word, but I think we can all put two and two together, right? This guy seems like he has no fucking morals. What a piece of shit, man. So hopefully he goes to jail for fucking ever. 300,000. So to put that into perspective, here are a list of California wildfires broken down by different categories. We got largest, we got deadliest, most destructive. In history, since they started recording, I believe in like the 30s, this is now at the 7th. Park City, look, July 2024. 360 and counting. Another crazy fucking thing that I just saw. I have multiple articles pulled up. Yeah, just look at this in relation to 10 largest fires in California this year. So this one is just trumping everything like no tomorrow. But I believe, if I read this correct, this fucking fire is 0% contained. Okay. It was 0. This must just be updating because I looked at it earlier this morning, or maybe it was last night. This is where I got the idea to post this because it just pissed me off, honestly. But it was 12% contained on Sunday afternoon. So I must have seen that 0 figure like yesterday or some point when I read it. Because it's up to 350 now. I just mentioned 300,000. That's crazy. 12% contained, 300,000, 350,000. So just imagine if we were to do a little math, by the time they contain it to 100%, it's going to get to 500,000, 750. So if we look at the historical here, it's not going to take it a lot to get to the top of the list. I mean, the largest wildfire was 1 million. It's already a third. It only needs to get to half. So the way I'm describing this, I hope it's not coming across like I'm like cheering for the fire, like it's a fucking sports team. Like, yeah, number 3. But I mean, it's almost there. It's like 100,000 away because it's 350 as of Sunday afternoon. And it's 12% contained. It's not far-fetched to assume that it's going to hit at least this figure probably in the next couple days and be the third fucking largest fire. Is it going to get to the second or first? I hope not. I really don't. But the point of, and just before I even go on to the next thing, to put that into perspective, because 300,000 is a lot. I asked good old ChatGPT, can you convert 300,000? We might need to do this again with 350, but whatever. It's so fucking big, it doesn't even matter. Like, it's hard to imagine, right? 300. I believe 1 acre is like 30,000 square feet or 33 or 38,000 square feet. It's a lot, right? Like, think of your average home and what it sits on. And football fields, right? That's 227,000 football fields. Going by like average movie theaters, that is 1.742 million movie theaters. Like, think in space. Think of your average movie theater and now do almost 2 million, right? That's where we're at. City blocks, 120,000 city blocks, 250,000 soccer fields. Like, if you've been on a soccer field, they're fucking huge. And I imagine 250,000 of them. And your average home, you're looking at 1.2 million. So it's destructive. It's huge. I guess the whole point of this is just to rant at this asshole. And hopefully we find out like what he was trying to hide, why he did that. But there's a lot of these incidents just keep happening, and it's just sad to see the state being burned like this, honestly. And I think in this case, could something have been done based on his priors? I mean, realistically, he served his time, even though what he did with the child shed was abhorrent. I don't know if that was rolled into the robbery stuff, because 20 years is quite a bit just for robbery. But if it said it involved, like, I don't know, it said here, criminal history, including convictions. Oh, so it's plural, convictions for lewd acts with the child and robbery. So I don't know if that 20 years I saw was one sentence or not, but regardless, I just wish there's way to control. Like, I see this shit. I just saw it with that Australian couple in their 60s that got targeted outside of like some nice nifty shopping center. I think that was in LA or somewhere. Also multiple people involved, some with priors. I think some also including firearm related or like robberies, and they got fucking killed and murdered for like some bags or something. So I just don't understand how California doesn't have this shit more under control. Does it just appear worse because things are being reported now and there's all the controversy around, what's happening in California with a lot of the robbery stuff? Because statistically speaking, if you look at it, it's not, things seem to be trending about the same over the past decade or two, or actually worse as far as robberies. But, now $1,000 or less is a misdemeanor. Is that just not reported as the same statistics? So it's like, because it's a misdemeanor, does that mean they don't have to record it as a robbery? So maybe that's why the statistics don't show the same. In any case, my own experience with California, I lived in San Diego about 10 years ago for a few years, and I absolutely loved it. Great beaches, super down-to-earth friendly people, bustling nightlife, a lot of scenery and places to go. Honestly, I went to LA once while I was there to visit, and I hated it. Traffic was bad. I didn't interact with a lot of people. I think I went to the observatory, but just traffic alone and just a lot of honking in the city. Everyone just seemed to be in a rush. So there was a fuck ton of traffic going into the city and on the way back. And I said, and this is true to this day, I'm never going back, and I haven't. Aside from that, I've only been to NorCal once in San Francisco. I visited for 2 days. First day, I was more in downtown, like I think the nicer businessy areas. Things seemed fine. So I was like, the news is, blowing shit out of proportion. It's fine. But the second day, I was in some place like a little Asia or something like that. I went to a ramen place, and there was almost like an underground mall that had little stores that you could buy trinkets and things like that, and almost like a grocery type store where you could buy snacks. We got ramen in that general area, and waiting for the Uber, we were a group of like 7 or 8 of us. So a car pull up. So we were on this side of the street, on the opposite side, like in front of us. There's cars parallel parked both ends. We saw a car kind of back up, like pull up, and then sort of back up. And I was even thinking to myself, I was like, where are they going to park? It's filled. And then I heard what sounded like scrunching, like it almost, I thought they like backed into a car and was scraping it, only to realize it was the sound of a window smashing. And we were witnessing a car being broken into across the fucking street from us. And then the driver, with something over his face, pulled out a gun at us. So that was my experience with San Francisco. My second day, same thing. Don't want to go back. Is it fair for me to judge based on that? No. And anecdotally speaking, could that have just been bad luck? Yes. But with everything we're seeing, like, it happened to me. So I have real world experience. I've been in San Diego many times. I lived there 20 years ago. I've also visited many times since, including like a year or two ago. I've never seen shit like that. I would never be worried about, Am I saying it doesn't happen? Of course not. Again, it's all anecdotes here. But point being, I just hate to see this happen. And even if we're to take with the latest order from Gavin Newsom to just bulldoze fucking homeless camps, I don't know how I feel about that either, man. I mean, it seems kind of inhumane. Is it okay that a lot of, disenfranchised people are just kind of, I don't even know how to talk about this, because it's just sad all around. On the one hand, you have the largest homeless population in California. A lot of them don't want help. That's been proven. If you look it up, they kind of like how things are. They're getting a lot of, it's just a nice place to be, right? So I get the nuisance part of it, because they're kind of parked up like right where there's a lot of tourism and things, and it looks bad. But to just bulldoze their homes and just that's how you take care of a problem also seems kind of messed up. I understand if certain homeless people don't want assistance and to try to do better because they just like it as is. How the fuck do you even handle that? I'm glad it's not on me to figure that out. I might be ignorant to everything, honestly, too, because I'm not a politician. I don't work for the city. It's not, I don't know how this all goes down to fix problems like this. I'm just commenting on what I've been observing over the years. I've talked and met homeless people. A lot of them are really cool. So it's not like I have anything for them. And again, it just, part of it feels inhumane, but I also completely understand because some of them can get aggressive. I've witnessed that too, honestly, and it can get a little scary, especially at night if you're walking around and someone's fucking tweaked out. I mean, we've seen a lot of it is mental illness related, is what I've realized. So I think at the root of it is, how do you figure out, invest more money into mental health and things like that? Start there, build more housing units. But last I heard, statistically speaking, they have like one bed for every 4,200 homeless people. That's just crazy. So I don't know, but the title back, this guy's a piece of shit. I hope he goes away for life, just not only for this act, but what he's done before, especially with children. So with that said, we'll see how it goes, and I hope they can contain this fire sooner rather than later. So best of luck to California.